Welcome, dear travelers, to Deadscape Diaries. I'm your host, and tonight, we're stepping into the chilling tale of a man who dared to defy fate itself. A clockmaker, driven by obsession, seeking to control time, and in doing so, lost more than he ever imagined. The Clockmaker's Curse is not just a story about time, but a warning from forces beyond our understanding. So, sit back, if you dare, and let the darkness unfold. The Clockmaker's Curse. I've spent my entire life crafting timepieces, watches, clocks, even pocket watches, each one more intricate than the last. To me, time wasn't just a series of ticking seconds. It was a beautiful puzzle, something to be understood, something to be controlled. It was this obsession, this constant thirst for mastery over time, that led me to the creation of something beyond any clock I had ever made. I'm Aidan Connolly, and I am a clockmaker. For years, I had dreamed of creating the impossible, a clock that could turn back time. The idea had gnawed at me for as long as I could remember, a constant presence in my mind, growing stronger with every tick of the clock. It was the ultimate challenge. They said it couldn't be done, that no one could defy the natural flow of time. But I knew better. I'd spent countless nights poring over ancient texts, studying old legends, and digging through forgotten books. There was something in those pages, something that spoke of a power greater than any man could understand. It was the Morrigan, the goddess of fate and death. She weaved the threads of destiny itself. I found the ritual buried in the words of an old druid, hidden away in a book no one else had bothered to read in centuries. The idea was absurd, even reckless, but it promised what I had always desired, the ability to rewind the clock. I should have known better. But I was too absorbed in my creation, too blinded by ambition to see the danger. When I finally completed the clock, beautiful, intricate, with brass gears that clicked with eerie precision, it felt as though time itself was trembling, waiting. I didn't feel the weight of the curse that hung over it. I only felt triumph. That night, alone in my workshop, I turned the dial, activating the mechanism for the first time. At first, nothing happened. Then I saw it, a flicker of movement in the shadows, a cold whisper in my ear. The air around me grew heavy, and suddenly, a figure appeared before me. A woman, her form cloaked in black, her eyes glowing with an unsettling intensity. I froze, staring into those eyes as her voice echoed through my mind. "You dare tamper with fate," she whispered, her words like the rustling of dead leaves. "Time belongs to me. To meddle is to lose what you are." I blinked, and the figure vanished. My heart pounded in my chest, and I looked around, convinced I must have imagined it. But the room felt different. The clock ticked louder now, as if mocking me. I shrugged it off, telling myself I was simply tired, a product of too many sleepless nights spent working. After all, I had created the impossible. What did a little whisper from a goddess matter? But the warning was there. And it should have been enough to stop me. But it wasn't. I turned the dial again, this time more confidently. The clock's hands spun backward, and suddenly, I was reliving the last 30 minutes of my life. The moment was perfect. I fixed a small mistake, an error with a customer's watch that had been bugging me. I said a few words that I wished I had said differently. The relief I felt was indescribable. I had fixed something small, but significant. But when I returned to the present, something had changed. I felt different, disoriented. Like a fog was creeping into my mind, stealing away the edges of my memories. It wasn't much at first, a forgotten name, a fleeting thought, but as the days passed, the feeling grew stronger. My hands, once steady and sure, trembled as I worked on the clocks. My thoughts became fuzzy, and I began to question things that had once been second nature to me. And then, I used the clock again. Each time I rewound, I fixed more things. A conversation with an old friend, a piece of jewelry I'd carelessly dropped, an argument I'd had over nothing. I felt in control, like I could rewrite my life, correct all the small mistakes I had made. But with each use, something else was slipping away, something I couldn't name. My memories felt like sand slipping through my fingers, vanishing before I could hold on to them. I started forgetting things. Faces blurred in my mind. The warmth of laughter, the comfort of companionship, it all began to fade, replaced by a deep, gnawing emptiness. I no longer knew who I was becoming. Then the visions began. The first time I saw her again, I was alone in the shop, working late into the night. The clocks around me ticked in perfect rhythm, but the air was suffocating. The workshop was darker than usual, the shadows stretching unnaturally along the walls. And then, she appeared, the Morgan, her eyes burning with fiery knowledge. "You cannot escape destiny, Aidan Connolly," she said, her voice like the wind through the trees. "You cannot change what is meant to be. Time is a river, and you, a fool, try to swim against its current." Her presence was suffocating, like a weight pressing against my chest. But I didn't listen. I couldn't. The clock was everything to me now. My only means of escaping the painful void that was swallowing me whole. Each time I rewound, I thought I could fix it. I thought I could fix me. But with each use of the clock, I lost more of myself. The man I was, the man who built these clocks, who loved his craft, who loved his life, was slipping away. I no longer recognized my reflection. My face seemed strange, like it belonged to someone else. I felt as though I were standing outside of myself, watching someone else live my life. The Morgan came to me again, her voice sharper this time, more mocking. "You are nothing but a shadow now. The clock will take you, as it has taken everything else. Time will devour you." I couldn't stop. I didn't want to stop. My obsession consumed me. I was desperate to undo the damage, to fix the broken parts of my life, to feel whole again. But each time I used the clock, I felt the pull of something darker. The more I tried to change, the more I lost myself. My memories blurred, my emotions hollowed out, and my essence, the very thing that made me who I was, disappeared piece by piece. And now, here I am, sitting in my shop. The clock ticks quietly in the corner, its hands moving backward, endlessly. The shop is empty, the clock silent. I feel nothing. I have nothing. The Morgan was right. I couldn't escape destiny. I thought I could cheat time, that I could rewrite my fate. But now, I am nothing but a hollow shell, a man who has lost himself in the pursuit of something that was never meant to be. The clock ticks on, and I wait. The curse is eternal, and I am its prisoner. And so, I remain. Forever lost to time. Thank you for joining me tonight in the Deadscape Diaries. I hope this tale served as a reminder that some things are better left untouched, some forces better left alone. If you enjoyed tonight's story, be sure to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another haunting episode. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and tell me, would you dare to play with time? Until next time, travelers, remember, the past is never as distant as it seems, and some clocks should never tick again.